Yeah.
ते रेकॉर्ड होतं हा पाहायला पाहिजे.
I think mostly local होता by default. Don't worry, we'll.
हा ठीक आहे चालेल.
Trees. 14 Trees, an NGO started by Praveen Bhagwat, and the mission behind the 14 Trees NGO is to find a replicable reforestation model on barren land. So this is a very familiar picture that I have taken as a background. You can see the greenery when the monsoon is there. Then when summer comes, the fields are getting burned, and it is making sure that no tree can come. You can see as if you travel from Mumbai to Pune also, you can hardly see any tree, or just one of the trees just standing tall on the hilltop. So I'll talk about it. What is the model, how we are doing it, and what is the motivation behind that. So
थोडं नावाबद्दल सांगा ना. What is the meaning of 14 trees?
Yeah. So I'm just coming to that. So it is believed that की एक माणूस आपण जर कार्बन डायऑक्साईड टाकतो तर if you plant 14 trees, whatever the 14 trees that absorb carbon dioxide, that can neutralize the carbon dioxide that is exhaled by us. So just each human, if they can plant 14 trees, the carbon footprint can come down drastically. And that is what is the name behind the 14 trees. So where is this project located? So पुण्याच्या north west ला Rajguru जवळ हा 150 acre project is located, and it is today 150 acre, but it started very small. And if you look at the area there, about 10 square mile area, which is completely barren, and I will show you how the picture looks like. So if you look at the picture 50 years ago, the land is supposed to be like this, and this is derived from Google Earth, as well as talking to a lot of locals there. And if you just go north of that, around 20-30 kilometers, you can see Bhima Shankar ranges also. So you can easily find out that this land was like this 50 years ago. But if you look at today, the land looks like this. So it's completely barren, and there are no forest cover. There is some amount of farming, but that's about it. It's completely barren now. And every year it is burned also. And with the grazing and burning, it is making sure that there are no vegetation can grow on this land. And that is a standard story you can see everywhere in Maharashtra or all over India, that this is what is happening to land, and that is how we are losing our forest cover day and day. So if you talk to local there, he was telling, I think he's 97 year old. I was also talking to him. He says there used to be a lot of forest, but a lot of fire, a lot of cutting of trees, and every year burning. And what happens if you cut a tree also, the soil doesn't stay there. So soil also erodes, the green cover also erodes, and on top of that you could do grazing and burning. It is making sure that nothing can grow on that land. So it's completely degraded land. So I'll tell you how the 14 trees started and what is the motivation behind it. So as I mentioned to you, started by Praveen Bhagwat, and he's not from Pune, not from Mumbai. He's actually from Kanpur. He's born and brought up in Kanpur, studied at IIT Kanpur, and then PhD in computer science from University of Maryland. And then in 2013, he came here as a CTO of one of the companies that he started, Airtight Networks. And while he was in Pune, while going to Mumbai all the time for visits and everything, I think we all have observed that particularly in March, April time, the hills are getting burned. So that made him thinking that can we do something about it, and can we find a model, or can we make a showcase to the local people that this barren land can be converted into a land which can give economic benefit, which can give green cover, and it can help them livelihood. So that is how it started. And then he took a land of 5 acre near the 150 acre that I showed, of 5 acre of that. And the land was completely barren. And as you can see on the top picture, it's completely barren. So how to start activity? So what he did first is dug up a big well there, But as you can see, the land was barren, and there is no way that he could have got water there, and that is what happened. So there was no water. So how to plant trees without water? That's a big challenge. So what he did for the first 3 years is that did a lot of rainwater harvesting. So there is a stream that is very near to the farm. So and that all the water was coming down the hill and just going out, and then there was no retention of water. So what he did is dug up a big pond on that stream and started rainwater harvesting. So every year when there is a heavy rain, that there's a big pond was there that used to get filled, and within 5-7 days that used to get emptied. Again, another rain comes, it will get filled, it will get emptied. So this happened over a period of 3 years, and after 3 years, he started getting some amount of water in that well. And if you look at today, even in the month of April, that well has a water, and there are some water sources and there are some aquifers that is charging that well water. So with that well water, he started planting trees, and I think at that time, Ecology Society faculties, Ajay, Manasi Ketki, Goye madam, and I think Gurudas sir also, I think all helped him to select the trees that can be planted in that particular terrain, because because the plant has to survive in that tough condition. So they made him select the plants, and I think the plants started growing. And after 4 or 5 years, now this photo is last year, you can see the how that particular piece of land has been completely transformed into a very good greenery. And so it's a very good greenery, a lot of local trees that are growing there. So that is how it started. And looking at the success of this project, initially there was a lot of resistance from local villagers and farmers. So why this person is doing that? What is his motivation? There was a lot of suspicion. And they used to, in fact, sometimes send their cattle to his farm, and they will graze and completely destroy it. And sometimes the fire that is happening in this April, May is to be very near to his farm, so that fire can come inside and it will destroy the trees. So, but he persisted, and I think after some efforts, I think he won a trust of the local villagers and farmers. And I think that is very crucial point in any restoration project, that the human involvement and the trust of the locals and the relationship with local is super important. And now what is happening is that now that project got expanded, and some land that the local villagers have given to him that to plant the trees, some land acquired by 14 trees, and private land. So it is not a public land. So that is how the project started. So so you will ask, what is new in that? What is different in this project? Because there are a lot of kind of plantation happening on the land everywhere across the India. But what is so different about it? So I'll just tell you what is so different about this particular project. So I think if you want to grow a forest, or grow a green cover, I think there are 4 essential factors that are very important. One is land, water, protection, and the trees. So I'll talk about each of this, how it is different in this particular case. So if you look at the land, I think, as I mentioned to you, we're starting with ecologically devastated land. I think the land is completely devastated with all the things that I talked earlier. So if we can do some reforestation on this devastated land, I think, and that is a very extreme kind of a condition of the land, then it will be relatively possible to do that in the farmland or in the land which is having some green cover or some good quality soil and water resources. So that is one difference in terms of choosing the land. And now going to water. So water is amazing work has done on the water side. So if you look at it, these are the ponds dug up on the entire area. So about 44 ponds has been dug up on the entire area. And it's all through rainwater harvesting. So there is no live aquifer in that area. So there are some ponds which are dug up to hold the water. There are some ponds dug up to for rainwater harvesting. There are some ponds dug for wildlife, because it's very essential to support wildlife also in this tough terrain. So there are various ponds are dug, and there are very interesting thing happening. So for example, out of this and this pond selection, the selection of the places is not done by any study or calling any person who is expertise in that. It is just done on the judgment, looking at the contours, looking at various streams, and can we store the pond from the stream, and can we get it here? So thinking about that. But there are interesting things. For example, one or two wells have failed because they are not able to retain the water more than 15 days, and some wells are almost 98% of the wells are able to retain the water. So one of the interesting reason came out, like when Himanshu Kulkarni along with Goya madam came there, that the wells that have been dug up to 10 meters are able to hold the water. If you go below that, they are not able to hold the water, because what is happening is there is a 10 meter of basalt layer is there, and that can hold the water. If you go down, then there are cracks. So all those things are happening. And now with this 44 pond that has been dug up across the area, the trees are getting water through that system. So I would say there is an amazing work happened on the water side. Yeah, so these are the ponds. These are the pictures of the pond. I'll tell you more about some innovation happening around these ponds. Then third thing is trees. I think this is where Ecology Society has helped tremendously. 14 trees in terms of selection of trees, what trees to plant, studying the local trees that there and suggesting appropriately. So that has been a very good help from Ecology Society. And also, but what another challenge is now, what happened is that the land that is owned by 14 trees, I think we can plan these local trees, but I think also it requires, let's say, if you need a human participation, if you need a participation for the local villagers and farming, we will have to plant trees which are giving some economic benefit to them. So when they are now coming to 14 trees and asking, can you plant trees on our area? And there is a big list of waiting list of farmers who wants 14 trees to plant on their area. So currently the capacity is full, how much it can handle, but there is a huge waiting list. So when farmers are coming, initially to motivate the farmers, I think what we want, we have planted trees which are of importance, of economical importance, like it can be mangoes, bamboos, and things like that. But now slowly, what we are telling farmers, okay, you plant some these trees, but you also plant some local trees. So if you want to plant, let's say 10 trees of fruits, you also need to plant 10 trees of which are local to that area. So that is how there is a participation on the in the project by the local villagers and local people also, farmers also. So the focus here is on pure ecological restoration. That is the pure focus. And I think what we want to also do is every year, means today also there are two interns of Ecology Society working on the site and collecting flora, fauna. So that has to be an ongoing activity. So we are going to continue that activity for a longer time. So you can observe the changes as the trees grows, as the texture of the soil changes. So there are a lot of things that are changing. So how can you record it every year and see how the changes has been in all aspects of ecology in terms of fauna, flora, and everything. And the fourth part is protection. So protection is very, very important, especially in that area, because there is a cattle grazing happening, still is happening, because on the area that is not in control of 14 trees. So if you just leave it like that, plant trees, I think the trees is going to get vanished in no time because of the cattle. So what we want to do is it's going to be a live laboratory for some of the things. So 14 trees. So it is a laboratory for clean energy, carbon sequestration, IoT for agroforestry. So for example, I'll tell you example of IoT for it's not completely IoT, but how a technology being used to create reports and create and document various flora. So if you there are, for every tree on the 14 trees is tagged that what is the tree, when it was planted, how it is growing, and how and at what is the location of the tree, and it is all done by technology. So at any point of time, if I want to get a report, okay, how many trees I have for Beda or Palash or Palash or where they are. I think I can get the report of that. I can find out where they are. Then another thing is about there is one simple form that has been done for collecting the data. So not many times. So yeah, this interns are collecting the data, but the actually people working on the field has a lot of access to the data because they are there in day out, and they can see something which you will not see at all. So we have created a simple form so they can just document that whatever flora fauna that they are seeing, just click a picture of that, upload it, and and we are motivating that every picture you upload you will give 10 rupees or 15 rupees for every picture upload. And there are people who are working, and I'll talk about it. They are mainly Thakars, Adivasi Jamaat, who is staying on the hills of those villages. But there are some people who are good at technology, and they are doing the job, and they are helping others to do the job. And there are a lot of experiments that we want to conduct in terms of water restoration. For example, can you create a system, because so many ponds are there, but can you create a system which, suppose there's a one well which is going exhausted very quickly, can we use that water first, and can we you collect some data about the water evaporation on this all these 44 ducts and that have been dug, and then look at how to utilize the water, what can be done to do a proper water management. Then also talking to BIF, and then see very important for the villagers is fodder. So how can we grow and demonstrate that in that land, if you grow this particular fodder, you don't need to graze the cattle. So you can use that fodder, which is of high quality, which is of high yield, and so that will motivate a lot of other members for this, not burning their hills. And in fact, yesterday only there was a fire at that place, and I think villagers, in spite of ask them not to burn the hills, that they have been continuously burning it. And I think the people at 14 Trees who are there, they try to cool that fire, and they call forest department, everything. But if you just give, mainly is fodder. So if you give fodder to them, then they won't do that. Then some of the areas that we are reserving for medicinal trees, some of the area we are reserving for pure ecological restoration. I think Ketki talked about Atul Kulkarni's farmland at Koina, that case study. I think we are trying to do also similar on a 5-acre land there. So there are a lot of experimentations going to happen on different things on that particular area. Okay, and I come to a very important part is a human alignment. And as I talked earlier, human alignment is so important to success of any project. And I think one of the credit that 14 Trees today is with the human alignment and community engagement. The local villagers, the local farmers initially had a lot of distrust. Okay, who is this person coming? Why is planting trees? Why he started planting trees all over the area? Whether he's going to take over our lands and things like that. So it took about 3-4 years to establish that kind of a trust with the local villagers, and then local villagers, and then they started involving in that. So recently that even that Sarpanch got best Vanashri award from government of Maharashtra. So he was pretty happy. So unless there is a local engagement and the local motivation, I think this project may not be successful. So, but this is very well taken care. And the second aspect is the local employment generation. I think there are about 70 families and 70 Thakar families are getting a job on this particular project, and they are getting some learning, and they are learning new things. I think this Thakar, we think that okay, they are Adivasi, but some of them are very smart young fellows. They are picking up, and they are becoming more entrepreneur. They are adding more data, and I never thought that they will be able to identify if you take a photo of a plant, they will be able to identify from Google their biological name also. So that is how they are able to, slowly they are upgrading themselves. So that is one thing. Then another thing is about innovation. I think what we also want to do is what you also want to do is innovate actually. So if you look at this, I'm just going to show you some sample innovation thing that has happened. So how do you measure the depth of the well, and how do you measure how much water is there in the well? So there are a lot of solutions being talked, but this one person came up with a simple idea, which is the local person there. Why don't you put just a marker and dip it in the pond, and then we know how much is the water level, and the water level tracked on a weekly basis to understand how the evaporation pattern is, how the usage pattern is, and how can we conserve the water. But this is one innovation, very small innovation, but very, very helpful, which can be, taken care by the locals there. You don't need an engineer or a technician to capture this. And second innovation is small innovation, but it helps. So if you're making a tree guard, and these are a circular tree guard, you can see here, and these circular tree guards are being transported from one location to another. But if you look at it, they are stacked, and there is not much you can put in the one truck. But another local came up with the idea that why don't we do a square guards, and these are like a stack, and you can transport in a huge number, and these are like these are not permanent fix. So whenever you need a tree guard, you put it there, you put it through a wire, and then whenever you are done, you take it out. So that is another innovation, small innovation. The third innovation is, this is very, very, very well, and I think this has been a very big hit in the community there, is that these are the employees who are working on that farm and on various projects. So now if you look at it, some are working on different areas, some are working on watering, some are working on digging. So every day morning, there is an allocation of work happens, and then your photo is kept on a particular task, and then you are go and supposed to do it. And on the behind of that photo, there is a contact number also, and the name of the person and some details about it. So anytime if you want to contact any person, it becomes very easy. And this has become very famous, means these guys are calling their relatives, and villagers also are calling their other people, and look at, my name is there on the notice board, my photo is there, and so now there is a waiting list of people who want to work on the farm. So that is how it has changed. Then these are the furniture made by the tribals. So and it is again made of bamboo, the trees that are fallen and not really cutting the trees. You can see a lot of creativity amongst this also. And this is the bamboo house that they built. Again, local built it. This Adivasi built it without any architecture or anybody involved, and very nicely they have done it. And if you look at it, this picture on the right hand side, there's a one person came, nobody knows who is this person. He came and dropped the picture and went away. So what also we want to do is give a rise to a creativity also. I mean, there are a lot of creation that can happen over that particular area. And in terms of what are the pathways can be done, what are the things can be built, and things like that. So there's a lot of creation also it is happening there. And what we want to do is treat it as an open source environment project. So those who are interested in environment, ecology, they can come and then they can run their experiments. It is not that it is, so let's say you have some idea about doing something. I think, yeah, we can come and discuss it. There is in software, there is something called open source. So open source means if there is a project, anybody in the world can contribute to that project and help that project grow. So this is how the project is going to be run. And you can see some familiar faces here. Of course, no need for introduction for those faces. And today we have planted about, till today we have planted about 22,000 trees, and this is just last 2 years. So this year the plan is to plant about 40,000 trees in this monsoon, and all the 40,000 saplings are ready in the nursery there. So again, if you look at the nursery, the saplings are done from the scratch. So this Thakar Adivasi, they go on to the field and collect the seeds, and they grow the seeds, and that is how the sapling has been done. So this year the plan is to plant 40,000 saplings and take it to the next step. And this is also inspired by the surrounding. So this is done by Praveen's daughter. So if you look at it, I think what is the message here? Plant a tree, breathe fresh air, taste organic, enjoy nature, and visit 14 Trees Farm. So if you visit 14 Trees Farm, I think we would be you will be honored to serve organic breakfast and organic food there. I think what I also was talking to, and I think probably this is a COVID time, but we cannot go. But I think this is the best time to visit that place because it is completely tough condition now. So once you see what are the tough conditions like, when you go in the monsoon, it is all greenery, it's going to be Switzerland. But when you go now, I think you will see the tough conditions that are there for the water, that are there for the plant, that are there for the employees working on the field. And then I think the more appreciation can come in. So maybe it is possible to do now in May if the COVID situation eases out, or definitely we can go, and all you are invited to visit 14 Trees whenever we have. We are thinking of, if not in May, then maybe in June, July, we will plan a trip and you are welcome to join that. Oh, so that is small talk from me. Any questions?
Hemant, how can we contribute if anybody wants to contribute for this project? What are the avenues available?
Yeah, definitely. I think there are a lot of work to be done on the. It's just the project has just started, so I think probably the best step would be to visit. I think the farm very as early as possible, so you can understand what are the things that are happening there, and then you can choose based on your liking. I think there can be a documentation of flora fauna. There can be some work on the water side. There can be some work on the even at the architectural side also. So I think probably a lot of things are possible. A lot of things are possible. Definitely, I think visit would be good. I think, but I would say to begin with, at least documenting and understanding of flora and fauna is a big thing that is going to happen. Even if ecology society's interns are working, there is still, I think, a lot can be done on that aspect.
Okay. So let us wait for the
nice,
waiting for the
nice,
visit.
presentation.
आणि खूप सुंदर काम सुरू आहे तुमचं.
Yeah, we would like to contribute, but we will come and visit. When you decide the date, we will come and visit.
Yeah. I think all from Pune, Mumbai, I think you're all welcome to visit. I think because I think we want to invite all the nature enthusiasts who are passionate about nature and ecology. So you're welcome to visit. I think we will definitely find some time and then arrange a visit.
I think in such cases, what we should do is that we should prepare a day-long list of jobs which can be done by visitors.
Okay.
And categorize them, something which doesn't require too many physical efforts, something which requires some kind of writing work or documentation, and something which requires physical work, so that the people will be able to choose. Yes, I can come for this particular task. I can come with a set of 4 people, 5 people, and I can do this. So
Okay.
that will be much more effective. Visitors visit, of course, I mean, for seeing the entire thing that is required. But also, if you want any volunteering work, like Nilima was saying, I think making such small day tasks would be a good idea.
Okay, I think I have definitely have a task, because what happened on these locals have captured a lot of creatures, small animals, photos, and they are not able to recognize that, even if they do help from zoology or whatever they do Google. So there are a lot of these pictures. I think that needs to be mapped to their proper names. So I think definitely that we can start with that.
हो, मग त्याचं जर तुम्ही गाईड केलं कसं करायचं, then I would like to help in that.
Yeah,
First,
sure.
like I'm not very familiar with the creatures, but if there is some reference to be used, then that way we can try.
Yeah.
Interesting, Hemant. Hemant, one more suggestion.
Yes.
Can build a nursery? For example, everybody can grow some saplings at home. A few this thing like people tree. It comes near construction area, and we need to uproot that and just throw it away. So plants like people, bird, umber, that plants come in our construction area, and we uproot and we just throw it away. So I have started collecting such plant, and can we, if you suggest which plants you want to plant there, and if we have that available in our nursery or we can grow at our own, we can definitely give it to you. Or
Yeah, that would be welcome. And I think those who wants to do some field work also, they can come and plant the trees also on the field also. That is not also a problem. Both can be done.
Yeah, that also you can tell us the schedule, साधारण कधी तुम्हाला ते सोयीचं होतं. जसं गुरुदास म्हटले तसं कामाचं स्वरूप वगैरे, म्हणजे कारण की आता बाहेर निघणं सध्या इतकं जेव्हा केव्हा चान्स मिळतो तेव्हा जेवढं करता येईल तेवढं करून घ्यावं. नाही ते एक विजिट होईल, एकदा व्हॉलंटिअरिंग होईल असं करण्यापेक्षा, नाही का? तसं. आणि IoT म्हणजे इन्फॉर्मेशन ऑफ ट्री,
of things.
IoT for
Internet of Things.
Internet.
The Internet of Things, these are the new things. What is happening now is that there are sensors. I think that sensors, let's say there is a low cost sensor that can be used, and you can capture the data from the sensors over a Wi-Fi, whatever, or even the telephone links or whatever we use for mobile data. That will be good, so that you can get accurate data of that. Without going there, you can collect a lot of data. And I think ultimately what we want to also do is collect all the data and form a template and see whether this can be replicated anywhere. So it's an effort is also like document it, proper log it and systemize it, so that, okay, if any other project wants to utilize it, that can be utilized.
If you need, there is, I can get some satellite data downloaded of that area, and then if you want exact this thing, like to see how the land use has changed and where you want to decrease the barren cover or something like that.
Okay, sure.
If I get the exact location, I can download and I can get the GIS map or something like that done.
Okay, that will be good.
आणि तुम्ही जे म्हटलात की ह्युमन रिलेशनशिप्स गॉट डेव्हलप्ड अँड यू वन द ट्रस्ट ऑफ द लोकल पीपल, व्हॉट एक्झॅक्टली मेड देम ट्रस्ट यू?
Actually, initially,
to understand how the things work in this field.
No, actually, as the trees were growing, actually, initially there was a lot of resistance, and why you are person coming from outside doing some plantation in our area, and things, a lot of things were there. But slowly, what happened is that once you do your work, once you start, the trees start growing. When they see the water coming in the well, I think the trees started coming up, and they realized that this is a real thing. It is not some person who is trying to do something and grab something. So when they saw the real intent of what is happening, I think there was a turnaround. And also the local villagers planted a lot of trees in the village. And so I think it's a slow process, but I think it happens with the action on the ground. When they see the action on the ground is not conflicting with their interest, and when they come for, okay, this is my land, and can you plant trees on my land? I think this 14 trees is planting on that without any expectation. What we are saying is, okay, these are the mango trees. These are the mango trees. You take it, and we don't want any economic benefit of that. So once they saw that this person has planted about hundreds of trees without any motivation to get any return back, I think there was an alignment slowly. And there are some small things that have been done. For example, there was one good land that was there in that 150 acre, and there was another barren land where somewhere else. And when the farmer told me that, when the farmer told us that we want that land which is a part of 14 acre, and in that you get another land which is barren, we took it. So we gave the land which was fertile to them. We gave it without any expectation.
Wow.
If you have any more question, feel free to ask. Send me a message. I will happy to answer them. So Ajay, you want to add anything?
Great effort. Congratulations.
No, I was just asking Ajay whether you want to add anything. I think you are the one who introduced me to 14 trees, so I don't.
Yeah, so I think the whole idea is that go beyond just planting trees, and good part is Praveen is very much for this whole idea of planting trees is one way to get started. But now we intend to discuss some of these aspects of okay, that we have already planted trees, there is some success. How can you make this plantation into a working ecosystem? And we intend to discuss some of these things in the coming week. And I'll make sure that Hemant is also part of this discussion, and we will. And I'm sure that your batch will remain posted. This is, I think, a very interesting transition that Praveen has made from being a tech entrepreneur to I call him a nature entrepreneur. He wants to see that how this model can be replicated, not just here within whatever those maybe 100 square miles, but even across the country. And I think he is really focused on how this can be done. And to make this model complete, as Ecological Society, we are attempting to support this plantation beyond plantation, and what I call, so make this plantation beyond plantation and look at several aspects, including associated ecosystems. Maybe there are streams, and there are ways in which the work that has been done can be optimized. There could be small appropriate technology like pedal pumps, which could be introduced for helping those who are currently maintaining these plantations to make their life a little easier. So there are many possibilities, and I feel that we as society, we would like to support this initiative in the maximum possible way, and of course to figure out how this can become more and more scalable, replicable, whereby essentially, a lot of land which at one point in time was pristine nature has become barren through our own practices. And how can we actually try and return this to nature? So that was just a little bit of my commentary. Thanks, Hemant.
Yeah, thanks.
Hemant, Gauri here. It looks like a very interesting initiative. And as you said, none of this land is public land. It is owned by someone, some of it by like 14 trees, some by villagers or someone else. So and you are employing so many people to do all the actual groundwork. So how does it work out financially? Like it is funded by the villagers, or how you do it?
No, actually, currently it is crowd funded. Means there are means from the IIT. He is from IIT Kanpur, so some of the school alumni are donating some land. Some part is donated by other alumni. So there have been few donations. It is still not a CSR activity because it is just started. It will take about 2 to 3 years, but we are finding a way around that. And also there is some individuals' personal money that those who are passionate about ecology and nature, they have also put in the money. So the idea is that as we grow this, and as people visit and more aware of this, I think there will be some contributions coming from individuals as well as from the companies for this project. But currently the land which is given by the farmers, we are just planting the trees, and there is no investment. But the land which is privately owned by 14 trees, 14 trees cannot own the land because of this NGO. But we are in a made application, and we are in a process of getting that land in the name of NGO. But till that time, some individuals have invested into land and holding the fort.
Yeah, just to add to what Hemant said, there is some land which is common land, which is basically Gairana hai Dontin. And for all the common land, we have attempted to look at whether there could be CSR funding. So there is the first tranche of funding that probably Hemant did tell you, or I don't know whether he did not because I joined a little late. But basically, so there is some CSR funding whereby we are looking at least the common land, which is village land, for example, which can, or for that matter, roadside plantations, which can possibly be done through CSR grants, because CSR grants don't basically support acquisition of land. They will support a project, but so acquisition of land is always an issue. So if there is a land, then there are companies. At least there is one company which we have started with, is supporting this initiative very, very well. And they're supporting not just plantation per se, but also associated aspects of biodiversity surveys. What is the flora fauna that is around there today? And they would continue to support even the way this flora fauna changes over a period of time and how we can document that, etc. So I think there are interesting opportunities for this particular project to expand, both in public lands and hopefully as more and more private companies also come in, or there is a mechanism of crowdfunding like Praveen has initiated through IIT Kanpur alumni.
I like the idea which if farmers own and they change their mind in making forest. If companies started owning this,
Company is not owning anything actually at this time. So see, in our country, I think as such NGO holding a land is, I think you have to make application to a collector and there is approval and things like that. But otherwise, this government is very strict of company not owning the farmland. But I think currently it is, as Ajay said, some is like common land and some are. Some individuals have owned it. Later on, they will transfer that land to ecologists or to 14 trees once the approvals are in place.
great. Is this 14 trees only limited to that village near Rajguru Nagar, or it can be, like Ajay said, it can be expanded anywhere in Konkan and other parts?
Yeah, it can be expanded. It is not limited, but it just started. I think the NGO and everything started about a year back, but it did not be limited to that place.
Okay.
But also you'll have to make sure that some success before taking it further, because then only you can use those practices and everywhere, whatever has been happened there to some other place. So it is not restricted, but maybe a little bit of time before it goes to other place.
Yes. If some of us are interested and if we have any land and we have some time to invest, then we can come to 14 trees and we can say that we can take up some part, and in company with them we can grow such green covers.
Okay. Yeah, we can discuss about it. Definitely. Any other question?
So one question, Hemant.
Sorry, आज विकास से क्वेश्चन कसे काय नाही आहे?
मी ऐकतोय, माझे सगळे प्रश्न सुटलेत, फक्त तुमच्याकडे येऊन काम करायचंय.
एक जनरल प्रश्न विचारायचा होता गुरुदास अँड फॉर एव्हरीबडी. लाईक आमच्या सोसायटीच्या लॉन वरती बरीच अशी झाडं उगवली, म्हणजे ते एखादं जांभळाचं असू शकेल किंवा पिंपळाचं असू शकेल. तर ती अशी आता गुडघाभर वगैरे अशी समजा 1-1.5 फुटापर्यंत वगैरे वाढली आहे. तर ती आता ते थोड्या दिवसांनी काढून टाकून द्यावी लागणार. ती तिथे तर वाढू नाही शकत. तर ती आपल्याला जर कुठे कामी येऊ शकतात का, किंवा ते कशा प्रकारे रिप्लांट करायचे असतील तर काही करता येईल याचं कोणाकडून गायडन्स घेता येईल? इवन इफ आय डोंट गेट द आन्सर राईट नाव, whom should I ask?
नाही, इतकी माणसे तुम्हाला नक्कीच सांगू शकतील हे असं काय करता येईल. पण आता तुम्ही ह्याला गौरी किंवा नीलमला विचारलं तर मला वाटतंय की त्यांचं साम्राज्यामध्ये नर्सरी केली आहे ते, तिकडे नेऊन देता येतील.
अच्छा.
एक
आणि
काका आहेत,
तिकडनं
त्यांच्याकडे
हा.
आम्ही विजिटला घेऊन सगळी प्लांट्स आम्ही देत असतो.
हा
बरं बरं
तर ते
बरं.
साम्राज्यामध्ये चांगलं काम
गोले
करतात ते.
काका, गोले काका
बरं.
नाही सॉरी, त्यांची खूप
गोले.
बरं
डोले
डोले काका, हा, तर त्यांना आम्ही देत असतो. बरेचसे आम्ही
हा.
नर्सरी तयार पण करतो, घरी पण बरीचशी रोपं तयार करतो. अर्जुनाची
मग-
मागे आणि आम्ही मिळून भरपूर केली होती रोपं.
म्हणजे तुम्ही रघुनाथ ढोलेंसारखे ते काम
हो.
करतात?
हा,
ते घेऊन
अच्छा.
जातात रोप. छोटी
हा,
रोप
घेऊन
असतात ना,
अच्छा.
ती दुधाच्या पिशव्यांमध्ये लावली, वर्षभर
हा.
सांभाळली आणि मग पावसाळ्याच्या सुरुवातीला ते एकदा येऊन सगळी घेऊन जातात.
हो, म्हणजे
अच्छा अच्छा
गेल्या
अच्छा अच्छा. ओके ओके ओके
20-25
ओके.
रोपं मी माझ्या घरची छोट्या गॅलरीत हे करून केली होती. आणि खाली
हा, हा,
पण
हा, हा.
ओपन एरियामध्ये करत राहतो आम्ही.
हा बरं 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 बरं
पण
बरं.
40
ओके.
ट्रीजला पण काही हवे आहेत का विचारता येईल.
हा, तेच
They
मगाशी
said
तुम्हाला विचारायचं
त्यांचे
होतं.
ऑलरेडी 40,000 they said it's ready in their nursery.
नाही नाही, पण
So I
पण
don't know.
त्यांना they will continue to need this आणि
हम्म.
देताना
Okay.
continue to
हा,
need it. I think there is a lot of trees to be planted, so whatever help is always welcome.
हा, म्हणजे तुम्ही जर
हम्म.
सांगितलं तुम्हाला कोणतीही झाडं लावायची आहे, तर त्या पद्धतीने आम्ही झाडं सुद्धा लावू शकतो म्हणजे तुमच्या एरिया
Okay.
प्रमाणे.
Okay, good. I'll keep that in mind.
हा,
हा ते पण घरी करू वर्षभर.
हा, आणि एक
ओके,
ड्राईव्ह म्हणून या समर मध्ये सीड कलेक्शन पण करू शकतो. होपफुली लॉकडाऊन जर संपला मे पर्यंत, तर एक ट्रिप काढून जिकडे निव्याला वगैरे गेला होता तिकडे जाऊन सीड कलेक्शन पण चांगल्यापैकी करता येईल. म्हणजे native
भीमाशंकरलाही
आपल्याला-
जाते आपल्याला त्याच्या
भीमाशंकरला
जवळ म्हणजे हा भीमाशंकर वुड बी बेटर.
कारण ते जवळच आहे, म्हणजे ते बेसिकली एंडेमिक गोष्टी मिळतील तिथे.
आणि
हो.
14 ट्रीचं बरंच सीड कलेक्शन भीमाशंकर मध्ये झालेलं आहे, भीमाशंकर एरिया.
नाही, आपल्या ग्रुपला पण तिकडनंच घेता येईल कारण तिथे भरपूर मुबलक असतात.
इथे हॅलो, मी प्रीती शहा बोलते. तर औरंगाबादला माझ्याकडे काही म्हणजे एका लँडवर इंडिजिनस ट्रीज लावलेली आहेत मी. तर सीड्स आता अवेलेबल आहेत, तर मी ते तुम्हाला पाठवू शकते का?
पण सीड्स ऍक्च्युली पाठवू शकता काय, डेफिनेटली. फक्त आता ते सीड पाठवून त्याच्या सॅपलिंग ग्रो करायला जरा वेळ लागेल मला वाटतं. किती एखादा महिना 2 महिने लागू शकतील, पण तरी पाठवू शकता. आणि एनिवे कंटिन्युअस प्लांटेशन तर चालूच राहणार आहे ते, तर आम्ही ते लावू शकतो.
ओके, चालेल.
मी-
मला मी ऍड्रेस घेते तुमचा.
येस.
थँक्यू.
ओके.
ओके.
ईशा, I
छान.
think meeting-
हो हो. सो मस्त सुरुवात झाली आहे आपली. आणि नेक्स्ट सेशन आपला 8 मे ला असणार आहे आणि त्याची माहिती आम्ही पाठवूच. बिफोर वी एंड दिस, एक गेम सापडला आहे ऑनलाईन. खूप छोटासा गेम आहे, पण लँड यूज चेंज, जर का आपण सगळे लँडस्केप प्लॅनर्स असू तर लँड यूज चेंज कसा होतो आणि त्याच्यात काय काय हाऊ डू वी लुक ॲट थिंग्स. सो मी त्याची लिंक ग्रुपवर पाठवते, सगळ्यांनी खेळून बघा, मजा येईल.
येस,
ओके.
MIT ने बनवलेला.
ती युनिव्हर्सिटी ऑफ जेनिवा का.
ओके.
हा.
ओके.
सो 2 स्टेजेस आहेत त्याच्यात. पहिल्या स्टेजमध्ये आपण फक्त प्रॉफिट बघून प्लॅन करायचं आहे आणि सेकंड स्टेजमध्ये सगळे इकॉलॉजिकल इफेक्ट्स बघून खेळायचं आहे, प्लॅन करायचं आहे. सो इट इज व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग.
क्रॉसेस मारायचे ते तोच गेम ना. तुमच्या शेजारी कोण आहे बघून, पाश्चर आहे का हे आहे.
क्रॉसेस हा म्हणजे सिमिलर आहे सर. त्याच्यात म्हणजे 2 ऑप्शन्स दिले आहे, ऍग्रीकल्चर आणि रँचिंग. सो हाऊ डू यू प्लॅन
करेक्ट. रँचिंग आणि ऍग्रीकल्चर. या सो द सेम गेम. इट्स अ व्हेरी नाईस गेम.
इट्स अ व्हेरी नाईस गेम.
छान आहे, खेळून बघा. हा.
सो मी पाठवते त्याची लिंक. आणि मी जेव्हा खेळले तेव्हा मला लक्षात आलं की खूपच वेळ लागतो प्लॅन करायला, जर का आपल्याला या सगळ्या कॉस्ट एक्सटर्नलाइज नाही करायच्या आहेत तर. सो इट्स व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट. तर गेमचं नावच ट्रेड ऑफ आहे. ठीक आहे. सो मी पाठवते
ट्रेड ऑफ, राईट.
येस. ऑल राईट.
Okay,
सो हा सॉरी, कोणी काहीतरी म्हणत होतं.
नाही, that will be good म्हटलं, ते गेम will be good.
Yes. So yes, thank you so much everyone for joining. We'll meet on 8th of May.
थँक्यू
Thank
ईशा.
you.
थँक्यू
Thank you.
खूपच छान झालं.
Good start.
बाय.
Bye bye.
Bye.
बाय.
हो, मस्त सुरुवात झाली. Yes.
मस्त सुरुवात झाली.
नेक्स्ट टाइम इकॉलॉजिकल सोसायटीचा अकाउंट वापरा, म्हणजे ते 45 मिनिटचं लिमिट नाही येणार.
हो सर,
हो,
पण
पण-
पुढे आपला क्लास सुरू होईल ना नेक्स्ट बॅचचा शनिवारी.
हो, 1 जून फर्स्ट सॅटर्डे ऑफ द जून, त्यामुळे वेळ आहे. एंटायर मे यू कॅन यूज.
ठीक आहे सर,
Okay.
नक्की. थँक्यू.
Okay, sure.
ओके.
थँक्यू ईशा. बाय.
थँक्यू एव्हरीवन.
बाय.
Bye.
Bye.
वा, मस्त हेमंत, लवकरच तुमच्याकडे कामाला यायचंय.
हो, हेमंत सांगा आम्हाला फील्डवर घेऊन चला. आम्हाला काम करायचंय. येस, ऍब्सोल्युटली.
No, I think we'll talk separately, but hopefully the session was useful for all of
इट
you.
वॉज व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग.
First
मस्त.
very
Of
म्हणजे
course,
कधी
of
जाता
course.
येईल हा प्रश्न आहे. कधी
Good.
जायचं
हा.
असं.
आणि
नाही, आपण ऍक्च्युली आयडियल टाइम इज दिस टाइम, बिकॉज काय माहिती का, आता कंडिशन एवढे हार्श आहेत ना. सो वेन यू लुक ॲट द हार्श कंडिशन, आय थिंक यू कॅन अप्रिशिएट मोर वेन इट इज गुड कंडिशन.
नाही, खरंय.
पावसाळ्यामध्ये
हे
सगळंच
खरं,
सुंदर
हे
दिसतं, ते खरं आहे.
आणि त्याची पूर्वतयारी आत्ताच केली पाहिजे ना. म्हणजे इव्हन पॉन्ड्स वगैरे जे करायचे किंवा पाणी फाउंडेशनचंही काम भर उन्हाळ्यातच असतं, सो दॅट यू कॅन रीप द बेनिफिट्स इन मॉन्सून. सो ऍक्च्युली फक्त लॉकडाऊन असल्यामुळे, नाही तर आय एम शुअर की मेनी ऑफ अस वुड बी रेडी.
ऍक्च्युली आम्ही माझा प्लॅन